Good evening and welcome to the Jefferson County Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, February 15th, 2024. It's 6 o'clock. Wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that earlier this week, we lost a former county commissioner, Mr. Dale Manuel. He served on this board for 12 years. He served in the House of Delegates, and he was also a 5th and 6th grade teacher at Wright Denny. It's where I first met him at when I was in, say he was my 6th grade teacher. I do know that Commissioner Tabb wanted to say a few words.
Dale and I, our terms were concurrent for some years, and I always found him an interesting fellow. He was very passionate about the way he felt, but he was always respectful. His main thrust on many issues was how we can support our youth in the county and do more for them. He was really a fine example of a public servant, served on many boards, and just had a big heart, really cared about people. And I absolutely enjoyed serving with Dale. He was a good man, husband and father.
Thank you. Dale is survived by his mother, Ruth, his wife, Ann, and 2 daughters. If we could, before we pray, if we could take a moment of silence and pray for his family right now, just for a moment of silence. Thank you. We'll ask Pastor Adam Johnson to come forward from Bakerton Bible Church for prayer.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this opportunity in our free country to come together and have these assemblies. I do want to pray specifically for the members of the commission who work through them, for every unity work through them, through your wisdom in all matters, helping us to serve our community. Let's say many different ways. And we thank you for our freedom in this country. We can come, we can live together and worship you. And we thank you for your son. For the meeting of prayer. Each person in here have a relationship with in Jesus' name.
Amen. You could remain standing for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of minutes for the board meetings, February 1st, 2024. If there are no objections, as approved. For board meetings for February 6th, 2024, if there are no objections, that's approved. And for board meeting February 8th, 2024, if there's no objections, that is approved. For approval of requisitions, February 15th, 2024, an amount of $8,850. If there are no objections, that's approved. For approval of accounts payable, an amount for February 8th, 2024, an amount of $1,059,217.68. If there are no objections, that's approved. For accounts payable for February 15th, 2024, an amount of $59,011.17. $11,017.0. If there's no objections, that is approved. For approval of manual checks for February 9th, 2024, an amount of $212,746.56. If there are no objections, that is approved. For approval of manual checks for February 16th, 2024, an amount of $109,983.24. If there are no objections, that is approved. For approval of payroll for February 16th, 2024, an amount of $316,532.49. If there are no objections, that is approved. Do we have any announcements?
I have a couple.
I have a quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm sorry, were there no minutes from the last meeting to approve? No? Have I missed that?
It's not in our package, no, ma'am.
Is it supposed to be in our packet?
With staff out sick this week.
So we don't have any minutes?
We have draft minutes, but they haven't been finalized because we have staff out sick.
So we'll put them on the next agenda.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Just a couple quick announcements. One, this is already in the public record, but I did want to announce I've requested the county government evaluate underserved communities for ambulance service, and the commission is awaiting on that report. So when it's ready, I'll request an agenda item on that, or maybe it's added automatically. So County Administrator Benitez, if you could let me know, please. Second is I've begun community meetings on solar farms. Citizens have requested that the meetings be private, so that's why I haven't publicized them. At least one will be public, and when I have more information on that, I'll provide it to the news media in advance.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move into public comment. We first have on our list Jacqueline Miller. You'll have, if you could state your name, your address, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening, and thank you for public comment. On January 30th, 2024, the Ethics Commission received this commission's advisory opinion request in the matter of the subcommittees subject to Open Meetings Act requirements. I am requesting that this non-proprietary, non-privileged, non-executive session document be placed in public record today. 2 days prior to the February 2nd JCC meeting, I emailed members of this body to obtain a copy of that document when I did not see it in the packet. No email response. The Ethics Commission gave me the document within 24 hours of my request. It was stamped received January 30th, 2024. The Ethics Commission further said that this particular Open Meetings Act request was public domain. So why did the JCC decide not to disclose this document, not only from the agenda packet for February 2nd meeting, but beyond the agenda deadline, but also on from a constituent who had requested it several days earlier? I read the document and approved to be sent to the EC by this body. The context of the document reflected a prescribed interview of the Planning Commission president, which clearly outlined a defense that suggested that 3 created PC subcommittees are non-effective in changing policy or making recommendations to the greater body, that the committees were just mere overseers of the staff and consultants. Troubling for the JCC's argument is that the consultant whom the JCC hired in April of 2022 wrote a letter on behalf of the Ordinance Rewrite Committee that recommended to literally change historic procedural policy at the Planning Commission pertaining to public hearings for subdivision regulation waivers. Interestingly, the Planning Commissioners changed the meeting minutes, which resulted in no approved evidence of a very big change in the interpretation of an ordinance with a significant change in procedural policy. That is the removal of public hearings for waivers of subdivision regulations. Page 10 of the JCC advisory opinion request states, quote, the committees did not formulate policy. Further down, quote, the committees did not make their own recommendations to the PC. However, the letter from Mr. Rocco that I gave you last meeting seems to suggest the contrary. It is deeply troubling that there is no confirmation that recused individuals of the PC did not participate in subcommittees dedicated to ordinances and solar facility text amendments. The Ethics Commission request outcome remains uncertain, but what has been revealed here is the lengths at which our government has been able to make transparency a shell game, to keep its citizens in the dark. It is alarming. You talk the talk of transparency, start walking the walk of the public interest. Actions speak louder than words, and withholding information that is the public to do has absolutely no place in our government.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Chrissy Static.
I just have a quick question. Are we not broadcast right now? Are we not online? I just don't see the video.
It's on the screen there. You see it on the, yeah, I guess, I don't know.
I didn't show the camera on the screen as well, but it accomplishes.
There you go.
I signed up twice, Mr. President.
You have 3 minutes, so unless,
No, I signed up twice.
ma'am, we don't do that. Mrs. Static can come up and can talk.
I signed up twice. What, let me ask you this. Why is it that contractors and staff and elected can wear 2 hats in this county to do public business, but public can't come up here and have 2? I have thoughts about the impact fees, and I have thoughts about the roof for the library. Why can't we sign up twice and wear 2 hats? Can I be a different person?
No, ma'am.
Is there something in our policy?
Yes,
that
ma'am. We
says-
do have a policy that says you cannot give your minutes to another person, or you can, if you wear 2 hats, you still have to speak. You still get your 3 minutes, ma'am.
If
So
you
Where
wear
does
2 hats, you get
we don't
one.
ever We don't
We don't
ever,
ever, but is it in policy?
ma'am, your 3 minutes is up.
Is
I
it in
think that
policy?
you should
Bail.
allow her to speak.
Fail.
Do not call the bailiff on a resident of our county who simply wants the right to
Well,
speak.
she needs to follow our policy. Ms. Christie Static's up.
I don't know where in our policy it states that she can't say what she needs to say. Can you show me?
Yes, I don't have it with me right here, but I can, we have before your copy.
No, I mean now.
No, I don't have it right here in front of me.
Maybe you could pull it up on your phone.
I have it. Would you like to read it? I have it here. This is directly from the website on public comment. There's 2 pages here. Oh, sorry. 1, 2. Have to watch these policies carefully because sometimes.
Thank you.
You can make your public comment
I'm
now.
gonna let her finish. 'Cause my
Okay.
notes are on my phone, so I can't really. Now she can call them in.
All right, we're gonna move to the next person, Jackie Shadle.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm here in the capacity as County Clerk. Because we have a new commissioner, I just wanted to reiterate retroactive pay. I attend mandatory training with the state auditor every year. I am going to pass this out. This is a PowerPoint from that training. It's not one that I made up, that any of my staff made up. It came from that training. In there, it's cited in the Constitution. It's backed up with the Constitution. It's backed up with code that there's to be no retroactive pay raise. I will not process it unless whoever's requesting it comes before you all and gets your approval. Then I will process it. But they can come before you, explain the situation if there was administrative error. I'm not going to be put into that position. It is also a payout. You approve all payouts. So I just wanted to remind not only you, but all elected officials, all department heads, that I will not be doing this unless they come before you and get your approval and it's put in the agenda. Okay?
Thank you.
And I'm going to give you a copy of this so you have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're next going to move to Denise Nick.
There's nothing in there that says anything about that.
My name is Denise Nick. I am a founder of the Blue Ridge Mountain Citizens Coalition, and my organization requested to be placed on the agenda in September 2023. My request was denied by Commission President Stauffer without explanation. According to County Commission policy, we should have been placed on the very next agenda, but that did not occur under Commission President Steve Stauffer's tenure. He failed to perform his duties of service as a commissioner and as a president. Policy apparently only affects citizens and not the commission. You all can break your own policy, but the citizens have to put up with whatever you say goes. Secondly, why are FOIA requests not being fulfilled? I submitted a FOIA request to the prosecutor's office on December 22nd, namely to Nathan Cochran's office. I received a response that said we're working on it. To date, February 15th, I have not received another word from his office. This gives the appearance to citizens of a non-caring, non-working, or a something to hide agenda. I'm requesting this commission, namely Steve Stauffer and Nathan Cochran, to do better. It's unacceptable behavior and a bad attitude.
Next we'll go to Andrea Ward.
Yeah, she just looked out.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
for the moment, why don't we have Miss
we'll-
Milliron come back up?
we'll-
Because
we'll-
there's
we will-
nothing in here that says. that
Miss
she-
Andrea?
That says that she cannot speak.
Yeah.
So
She's not here for public comment.
Oh, she's not. Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. You're not here for public comment?
Ms. Milliron?
Okay.
Please.
We'll go to Mr. David Tabb.
Okay, after Mr. Tab.
David Tabb, lifelong taxpayer resident. Makes following comments. Dale was a good guy. I worked with him a lot. A lot better than some of the people of this commission. Just saying. I, David Tabb, am really disappointed that Mr. Pachi is not on the ballot for Jefferson County Commission seat. Oh, that's right. He doesn't live in Charlestown District that he is currently representing. At a previous county commission meeting, Mr. Pachi was instructive when proofing minutes for approval. I was hoping that he would be doing a thorough and well job within all the rules and regulations of county commission meetings and Robert's Rules and Open Meetings Act. It is really sad that he and Commissioner Tabb allowed Commissioner Stoliver to be the president again, and correct me if I'm wrong, the third time in 4 years. Wow. Imagine that. On a lighter note, hidden within the agenda pack under the county administrator report is update of TIF attorneys. Bowles Rice, Kelly Jackson, Spillman, Thomas, and Bound. That includes 16 pages of statements, contracts, listed agreements, charges per hour. I am deeply concerned that this should have been placed on a legal posting and for public comment, announcing a pilot program. To remind everyone, the last pilot program was dealing with Rockwood, which the public comments portion were reduced from what we used to get, which was 5 minutes, and now we have 3. Also include, we used to have a meeting every week. That's that. It's very disappointing that the current county commission is not truly transparent with the public. I did not know what these people were going to say. When the public does make comments, the county commission either ignores their comments or just does not or will not allow it to be placed on the agenda. To include public's filings and proceedings. I have a lot more. This is written. It's put in there. I'm not done. Listen, I do appreciate your time. And I would really appreciate y'all going back to the 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to Christy Static.
I'm just have some quick feedback. I think that there are ways to increase public participation within this county. Everybody's very busy. I appreciate the microphones, but I think we need to have the microphones closer to our mouths. When they're this far away, they don't do anything. It would also be nice if you guys could put page numbers on the packets, because they're like a long novel, like War and Peace, and it's very difficult to get through them. The public specifically, it's a hard time to get through them all. And with page numbers, it would at least be easier to navigate through. And it would actually be helpful to have all the policies in some sort of hub or book or some sort of document retention, because it seems like policies get moved around and changed. Things get added and taken away. And it's awfully mysterious. But if we made it more transparent, I think we could all be on the same page and we could all follow the policies. And I think that would be better for everybody. It would be better for constituents. It would be better for commissioners, for us all to know what the policies are, have them in one place. And if they get changed, we could have a historical trail of what the policy used to be. Right now, I don't think that exists. And so we don't know what's been changed. It's all just mysteriously being changed. It's really weird. And usually it's nice to have that historical stepwise change so you know what's been changed and why. Because these things should happen in front, out in the open, so the public knows. And I think a lot of things are happening in the background and it's upsetting to the public. And it's time for change. It would be better for everybody if we all just worked together moving forward to be transparent. So that's my feedback. I appreciate the microphones. I think this is a great start so people can hear us. But maybe we can make some changes to have policy be written and recorded so that it can't be changed mysteriously. Mr. Stolifer. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody online, Jessica?
Ms. Million, would you like to
We're
come
going to
back
move
up?
on to Miss Angie Banks, assessor. I got the policy right here in front of me, and it says each speaker shall have 3 minutes. So she had 3 minutes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
yes. She
I-
signed up
I understand, but
two times.
each speaker shall have 3 minutes. That's what it says in
There's
our
nothing
policy.
on here that says you can't
We
sign up.
are
more than
moving
once.
to agenda item number 1, Miss Angie Banks.
It's no surprise whatsoever,
forward,
Mr. Stolifer, is it? I
You
don't
should-
think
you
there's
should read the
anything
policy,
funny about
ma'am.
this. I have read the policy.
Okay,
I have read the policy.
good evening.
Hello,
Good evening.
I have one exoneration. It's in our 2023 personal property book, Charlestown District. The taxpayer did not remove the 2005 Nissan Altima, assessed value $1,065, tax amount $24.88. Taxpayer is Brian Thomas, ticket number 303981.
I move to approve ticket number 303981.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next we're going to move on to agenda item number 2. Is Tina Renner.
Commissioners, my name is Tina Renner. I've been your circuit clerk now for 1 year. And yes, thank you. And in that year, I have learned so much. So once I took office, the Supreme Court got with me and asked me if I wouldn't mind putting the circuit clerk's office on the Supreme Court network. And I said, well, why weren't we on there already? And they said, well, you were one of 2 out of 55 that hasn't come on yet. So we figured we'd wait for you and proceed with that. And I said, well, okay, let me find out what the good and bad is about that. And they said, well, there's really no major change. It's just, it's a more secure network. Everyone in the county and West Virginia, all the counties have that network, and it's good for the e-filing system. And we have 24-hour service in case something goes wrong IT wise. And we're like, I talked to the staff and they said, put us on. So it took about a week. That happened in June. And we got new monitors, we got new computers, and we got new scanners. So with that said, this is emotional for me, sorry. With that said, I got with Russ Burgess from our IT department in Jefferson County and explained to him there would be no changes. We had the replacement printers, we had the replacement computers and scanners put in a room that he could pick up, so they went back into his inventory since we were replaced with the Supreme Court's ones. And everything was fine. but they don't, the Supreme Court will not replace the printers or copiers because they are an item that charges when people come in to get copies. So we cannot, under the rules and regulations, have the Supreme Court supply those because the county benefits the money from the purchases of the copies and the documents such as divorce packets and stuff like that. Anyway, long story short, I'm here today to give you some West Virginia codes and some West Virginia court trial reports that states that the county commission is to provide county offices, especially the circuit clerk's office, with printers, facsimiles, and copiers. In this file, I have those copies of those, and I also have copies of 2 request service tickets done to the IT department for printers. I would have made everyone a copy, but this is what my printer sounds like. Okay, this has been going on now since September, asking for a replacement printer. There is refusals in here from Russell Burgess stating that he no longer will service the circuit clerk's office since we went to the Supreme Court. That is also documented in here. The rules and regulations and the codes are in there. Now, let's move on to a fax, the facsimile. The circuit clerk's Supreme Court, requires that every circuit clerk's office has a facsimile that can work. I took upon myself to get this to action. There was not one when I took office. So in September, I stole one of the printers from one of the ladies that had facsimiles with it, put it to where it could be hooked up for a fax machine, hoping that one of the printers that I asked for from the IT department could replace her printer, which that didn't happen. But anyway, we needed the fax machine. We had to have a fax machine. So we got the maintenance department to come in and put in a line. So now there's been 2 requests to come back and see why the fax machine can receive faxes but not send. So I'm sorry to bring all this to you, but once you read this, you'll see that I have made every effort that I can. Now with budget season right around the corner, I just kind of would like to bring to everyone's attention that I believe that the circuit clerk's office is in Russell Burge's budget, and I also believe that we're in the maintenance budget. So this proves that I'm not getting my money's worth. So kind of look at that. Now, if I have to and we don't get this resolved and I can put equipment in my budget, I will, if that's the route you want to take. The other route that I have to take, if that doesn't happen, is I have to get a court order from the Chief Justice, which is which is Faircloth at this point, to get this resolved. Thank you for your time.
I got a question for you. The request that you made, did you make that through the state to have your printer replaced?
No, we don't go through the state. We go through the county IT
Okay.
for printers, facsimiles, and copiers.
Because it's my understanding, since you switched over to the state IT system, that you're supposed to contact them first, and then they will tell us tell our IT department what to purchase.
In your copies that you will get, you will see that is contradicting and that there is a message from the Supreme Court that says there is no reason to reach out to them. No changes have been made from the IT department to the circuit clerk's office, just because we went to the state on their network. It has nothing to do, that's Mr. Burge's excuse throughout his emails. And there's a corrected email in there from the Supreme Court that states that that does not apply.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk, what is your request of the commission this evening?
I'd like for you to read this, read all the responding refusals of my request.
Okay.
And kind of find out why this has taken place. I wouldn't mind an apology either from what we've had to go through. I've had to borrow a printer for the one that I replaced for the fax machine from the judge's office.
This has been going on since September.
September is when it originated that we did not have a facsimile. That's when I changed the printer over to the facsimile. And you'll see that the dates on the request, the service tickets. Now, here's something else that's real funny. I can get toner, but I can't get a printer. They delivered the toner.
So I think you're also requesting that if the money's in IT budget for these items, that either they provide or that we reallocate the funding to her.
Bringing that to your attention that, yes, I mean, it is, I know I did the budget last year. I don't have a category for equipment. I'm pretty confident that Russell does for equipment.
Is this a funding request? I'm a bit confused.
You're not requesting.
I'm not
anything
requesting
tonight.
any money. I'm requesting your attention to this issue. And hopefully that you know where to find me. We can get it resolved.
Can you give that to our administrator?
Yeah, I will certainly read that.
And
Absolutely.
Follow up with a meeting with our administrator on that.
Sure.
I think we're each getting a copy too.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, can I say one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Our copier, I pay monthly for that, which is like $239 in a lease program. If you read this West Virginia Code 732, it states that that should be provided by the county commission because of the fact that we do charge for these copies and we do charge for packets. So can you also look into see where that should be coming out of Russ's budget instead of mine as well?
Yes.
And can you just remind us of these things when we're doing budget presentations too? please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move to agenda item number 3, Karen Old, Jefferson County Clerk's Office.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
You know my name, Karen Olden, and I'm here this evening for a request for approval of an accounting that missed by one day, the January term. And it was held up by the fiduciary commissioner that was out of town for his report. So I would like to ask that you have to do
Yeah,
We have
a
to go.
fiduciary review.
I move we convene as a fiduciary review board.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Can we repeat that? Okay, so I need the approval for one accounting that was submitted a day late because of being out of town by the fiduciary commissioner for the January regular term that was January 4th, and it's only one.
Okay.
And I will give that to Mr. Stolifer. Everyone agrees with that. And then after that, the probate office has also forwarded in your packets for your review a probate and solemn form for the estate of Richard Francis Kennan Sr. The original will has not been produced. However, Miss Mary Andrea Ward Kennan, wife of the deceased, is here with her counsel, Mr. David DeJarnette, to submit the evidence for probate. And then he'll take care of all that. And Mr. DeJarnette and Miss Ward can come out. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Should we go ahead and approve that final accounting so we can get that out of the way?
Yes, we'll go ahead and sign.
I move that we approve the final accounting for the estate of John P. King as presented.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion, anybody opposed? Motion carries 5-0. There you go. Just one place. All right.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so
DeJarnette and Miss Ward.
next, Dave DeJarnette.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
As Karen mentioned, we're here on the estate of Richard Kennan. Miss Andrea Ward is the surviving wife. You have a copy of the petition. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I think the petition fairly sets forth what we're trying to accomplish tonight, and that is acceptance of the copy of the last will and testament in probate. Ms. Ward can tell you if you'd like to hear. Unfortunately, Mr. Kennan passed during a house fire. There was a total loss. Some of you may be aware of the events. And the original last will and testament was in a wooden credenza in the home. It did not fare well, as you might imagine. Sam Byer is here. Sam came by just in case you had any questions. He was the drafter of the will for Mr. Kennan. And Ms. Ward had a copy of the will in her possession, and that's what's been presented to Ms. Holden for probate. Other than that, I think the petition fairly well lays it out, and we ask that you approve acceptance of the will, of the copy of the will in the probate.
Okay.
We're available for any questions you might have. I don't know whether there's anyone else here that wants to speak to this. I would ask that the record reflect if anyone else is here.
It's not on comment, so, yeah. All right. Council, do you have anything to add?
No, sir. Is it your position that the affidavits and accompanying documents contain all of the requirements in 4155?
Yes, except for possibly the cause of the lack of ability to produce the original, which is the fire. Ms. Ward brought with her photographs of the home post-fire. And so we'd be happy to present those to the commission and also have Ms. Ward speak about any degree, if you'd like, about the effects of the fire. I think that the petition, which was drafted by the fiduciary office, is pretty good. Pretty much encapsulates everything.
Okay.
Except for possibly mentioning that cause.
And she's here to say the cause was a fire.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Would you like to see that?
No, I don't. But it's just the commission is the one who has to make a decision, but you're representing to them there was a fire that destroyed the original will.
I don't need to see the pictures. I think we would just probably like to hear from you what happened, from your voice on the record, what happened to the original will. We heard from your counsel. Fair enough.
Sure.
And I think we all know, but we just want to hear you saying. Yeah. Yeah, yes, you can see.
What you feel like you're on.
Yeah.
Well, on December 8th, we owned a farm in Middleway that was a historic landmark. And so it was, that side of it was an older building. I have a picture of it because it was a beautiful home. And on December the 8th, the whole part that was not stone just burned and just fell in on itself. So there's nothing whole left. There's nothing.
And did you? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
So the only thing that I could see that was whole was the springs of the bed.
And you tell the commissioners your understanding of the location of the original last will and testament.
Well, Rick did his work in the dining room. So I told him, put this thing, if you don't get a safety deposit box, put it where you know it is. So there was a credenza right there, and I pulled the drawer out and I put it in there, and I said, here it is. And then after that, I saw it many times after that, because I was always finding something that was important that I'd say, put in the drawer so you know where it is. And that's the dining room, the living room. They were the ones that just caved in on themselves.
Okay. Does anyone else have any further questions? No. No. I'd like to move a motion to approve the last will and testament that was presented to us for the state of Mr. Richard F. Kennett Sr.
I'll second that, and just for clarity, say it's a copy of the original will and that we are accepting that.
Yes, and we are accepting the copy of the original will. And the original will was lost in fire. All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to agenda item number 4. Jennifer Myers, Jefferson County Parks and Recreation.
Great timing.
I know. That's perfect. I have information for you guys here.
Thank you.
Actually, it's all walking into the park.
Ah,
Right in here, there was a lot of traffic on job for it tonight.
I think the video was shut down. I don't know if I had anything to do with it.
So I know we have several items on the agenda this evening. Figured I can kind of start off in order packet here. That works for you guys. The first thing I wanted to bring with you guys this evening is that in October at the annual state conference for Parks and Recreation in the state, we were awarded the Eugene M. Fuller Program Award for the programming that we do with the Levitt Amp Shenandoah Junction Music Series at San Michael's Park. So the award is given to departments within the state that provide evidence of outstanding programming of superior quality and promoting activities that are traditionally associated with park, recreation, and leisure services and developing innovative programming ideas. We were, like I said, awarded this for the Levitt Amp Shenandoah Junction Music Series. We received the grant funding for the Levitt from the Levitt Foundation in 2020, and as many of you know, that year we couldn't have any concerts. So that funding was pushed to 2021 grant cycle, and we received the award again in 2022, which brought 10 free live musical professional concerts to the community through the Levitt Amp Shenandoah Junction grant program. In 2023, the grant funding was extended for an additional 3 years, committing to commitment for our community, which totals an additional $90,000 to continue the music series from 2023 to 2025. The Levitt Amp Shenandoah Junction Music Series has brought a diverse lineup of music to the Eastern Panhandle for the last 3 years, with a total of 31 bands playing various styles of music, including country, rap, rock, blues, soul, and zydeco, bluegrass, Latin, children's music, and more. Each week, the music brings a new sound, and each concert is offered admission-free, and each band brings their own original artistry and voice to the stage. Throughout the summer season, the Levitt Amp Shenandoah Junction concerts are a place for people to equitably gather. Concerts were offered 10 consecutive weeks with as many as 600 participants at a single concert, and we've had as many as 8,000 participants throughout the summer season. The Levitt concerts are not just a place for art and music, but they're a place to build community. Removing the barriers such as cost has made it possible for more people and more people in the county to enjoy the diversity of music, bringing our community a place where large portions of the population and access of 60 minutes to work each day. When you have so many people leaving the community and going to more populous places, it can create a vacuum of cultural experiences within the community borders. The Levitt series provides cultural and artistic experiences that would otherwise not be available to people in our county. The Levitt series has also attracted people to our community on a weekly basis. From neighboring counties and even neighboring states return each Thursday throughout the summer, adding the experience of the economy, adding to the economy in Jefferson County. We look forward to continuing the mission of growing our community through the power of free live music in 2024. You'll see in the packet, we've included some information from last year's performances and last year's flyer. We are currently finalizing contracts and artists for 2024, and we'll be excited to share that information with the public here in the coming weeks, the performers that will be there. So I invite the community as well as all of you to come out on a Thursday evening and enjoy the Levitt series, and spend an evening in the park. And we have our award that we brought to.
Thank you.
To show it off. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve and provide county funding in the amount of $10,000 for 2024 fireworks at St. Michael's Park on June 29th, 24, and approve and provide ARPA funding in the amount of $50,000 for a lighting project, the AMP at San Michael's Park. I think we should go ahead with these. I know we're going to discuss them, but I wanted to get it out there.
We'll take one item at a time. How about that? Yeah. So
No objection.
Yeah. There's let's talk about the fireworks first.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in your packet, I provided you guys with just kind of a little snapshot. And again, thank you for your time this evening, allowing us to come before you here. We're here to ask for your continuing support to keep the fireworks in Jefferson County in 2024. Last year, with your generous support, we were able to celebrate Independence Day fireworks as a community. It's an event that the public has been loud and clear that they would like to see continue in Jefferson County. It's something that they've asked for year after year. The event is slated this year for June 29th with gates opening at 6 p.m. Entertainment will be on the stage starting around 7:30, and the fireworks themselves would go off about 9:20 p.m.
Okay.
With your continued support, we're able to keep the fund in Jefferson County. As you know, when people seek fund elsewhere, often they are not only crossing county lines, but they're also crossing state lines. When we all gain by having safe fun activities right here at home. Your continued support also maintains an admission-free event that is open to everyone. Professional pyrotechnics keep the event safe and draw visitors from other areas as well.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were done. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
I have a whole thing.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. You paused and I was, okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
We are pleased to share that the event not only has an impact on local areas, but also in our local economy. Last year, approximately 6,800 people attended the fireworks event. The event was the biggest and the largest influx of people at San Michael's Park in a single day in 2023. Approximately 13% of those attendees ate at a Jefferson County restaurant before the event. That's 884 people that spent money in Jefferson County that may not have otherwise. 12% got fast food after the event, and 5% stopped at a local gas station. Last year, we were proud to have participation from all the municipalities, as well as the county, and hope to continue that cooperation this year. The city of Charlestown has already committed funding for this year's event in the amount of $4,000. We are currently on agendas and have applied for applications for all the other cities and towns as well, and are on most of those agendas this month. As you'll see, if you check on the estimated expense budget that we have listed there, we are anticipating that that's going to top $40,000 this year. One increase that we had this year that we did not have in the past is the charge to have ambulances on site. So the Jefferson County Emergency Services Agency, that adds about $2,000 to our total, though, as well as additional porta pots as we expect to hire attendants this year. We have our estimated incoming sponsors listed there. As you can see, Parks and Recreation, we've already made the deposit of $5,000. We commit about $7,500 to this event. We've listed the County Commission. Your donation was $10,000 last year. So we have a grant from the Levitt Foundation that will help provide music on the stage. And you'll see a listing of all of the other amounts that we hope to bring in from other sources to help fund this event. We included some great snapshots of a lot of positive comments that we received last year via Facebook for you guys to read through. You know, I think it's clear and everyone knows that the fireworks is a beloved community event, but it's unsustainable without community support. So we'd like you to please consider allocating $10,000 to the fireworks this year. And if at all possible, we would love for you to waive the $2,000 ambulance fee cost to have them on site at the event to provide ambulance services. Thank you for your time.
I have a question. So I think we did funding last year. Did we talk about putting this into your budget going forward?
So we did, and we are putting it into our budget going forward,
Okay.
but it would be for
But there's nothing
next fiscal year.
Okay.
Because
All right.
of the way it fell last year, the money it was July 1st. This year it's June 29th.
Okay.
But hopefully, if you guys are able to approve tonight and then you can approve the budget request, we should be on target to have it as part of the budget.
Okay. Fair enough. Where will we pull that? Do you know where we pulled the funds from last year?
I think we pulled from ARPA last year for the lights or whatever, didn't we?
No, the fireworks.
Oh, for the fireworks.
Oh, Severance. Okay. There's a motion on the floor to approve it. I think we need to add to that motion that the funds will come from Coal Severance.
Okay.
All right. I'll second the motion for the fireworks. Pasha made the motion. I'll second it. The motion will be added that we're pulling the funds from Coal Severance. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, the
Thank you.
ARPA funding.
ARPA. Okay, so the next thing in your packet there is some information about a lighting project that we're going to be doing at, or hope to be finishing at St. Michael's Park at the amphitheater. As most of you know, we were awarded monies from Senator Capito, and we are building an addition to the amphitheater that will consist of restroom facilities, ticket booth, concession stand, and that project is slated to hopefully start moving dirt here in a couple of weeks in March. And as part of that project, we also hope to add lighting to the amphitheater. So it's any of you that have been out there for concerts and events, it's very, very dark in the evenings. So we applied for some monies and were awarded $10,000 from First Energy, and had planned to hopefully get these lights installed, honestly last year. But by the time we got the designs and got everything approved, the costs were much, much higher than anticipated with getting everything built. So what we thought was going to be a, $40,000 project has turned into a $102,000 project at this point. So right now, and I included kind of in your packet just what kind of phase 2 of the AMP would look like, and then I've also included some information about the lighting, what we're looking to do. This is kind of the best picture to probably explain what it will look like, but it will be cafe, kind of the Cafe Edison lighting that will actually expand out over the crowd. So when, we can have it on for events like our Santa, when we do a Sword and Santa event, we can have the lights on as part of that. After concerts, after movie nights, after community events, we can flip the lights on to add, allow people to exit the park safely. I have applied for a $50,000 grant. We have put a letter of intent to apply to West Virginia Culture and History, and we are hoping to get a grant from them that would be available July 1. But we are here tonight just asking if there, is available ARPA money left, that if there's any way the county commission would be able to help, match that grant with $50,000 to get this project to completion. So all in all, it's about a $2 million project with all the different funding sources that we have coming in.
You mean for the total?
For the total AMP phase 2. Right. Yes, yeah. And the lighting is, it's at about 102,000.
Okay. All right, we do have a motion on the floor. The only question I would have is how much, what's our remaining balance? I have several questions.
And we need the motion repeated and seconded.
Oh, yes, you want to repeat that again?
I move to approve and provide ARPA funding in the amount of $50,000 for a lighting project at the AMP at St. Michael's Park.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a second. We'll open up for discussion.
Okay. I'm sorry. I asked Bessie earlier today because this was on there. So we have $125,549 in ARPA.
Okay.
Available.
All right. Any other discussion?
Sure. I think it's important to note that this is one of the county functions that generates revenue for the county. I think it's a prudent way to spend ARPA funding, and I support it.
Good deal. All right, anybody else? We'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
You want a picture?
Yes, please.
All right, if
Yes,
all the
please.
commissioners could step in front of the table, we'll get a quick picture with the plaque.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put me on.
Just be careful.
Thank you guys very much.
Moving on to agenda item number 5, Sarah Curley, Director of the Harpers Ferry Bolivar Public Library.
Hi, how are you today?
There
Can
you
you hear
go.
me? I'm on the webcam.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear
Okay.
you.
You can hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. Hello and good evening. My name is Sarah Curley. I am the director at the Bolivar Harpers Ferry Public Library. Bolivar's Harpers Ferry Public Library would like to request $27,499 from the Jefferson County ARPA funding in order to install a new roof for the library. We serve the Jefferson County community along with being a place for tourists and hikers and anyone to visit to utilize our services while enjoying the beauty of that this county offers. For those who aren't familiar with our library and its surroundings, our building is the only public restroom in the Harpers Ferry Boulevard area. In addition to being close to the Appalachian Trail, we are situated next door to the Harpers Ferry Middle School. Aside from many services and resources, we are a popular spot for teens to utilize after school and where parents can pick them up. Our library is used for a good deal of people and for a variety of reasons. To continue these services, we would like to ensure that our library remains a safe place to visit. Installing a new roof is important so the citizens of Jefferson County always have a place to go. Last year, we had a leak in the building and we took actions to get it repaired quickly. Currently, there are certain areas along the ceiling that show signs of water damage. Waiting for there to be severe damage could be detrimental, and we would like to be as proactive as possible in preserving the building and not ensure increased costs. After fixing the leak, a roof contractor informed that the repairs hold for now, but the roof as a whole needs to be replaced. Thank you so much for giving me the time and opportunity to speak with you all today. I'm happy to answer any of your questions or concerns.
Does anyone have any questions? All right. I'm not hearing any.
No, I don't have any. Oh, Miss Bessie has a question.
Yes, ma'am.
On her quote, she includes tax. Isn't she a nonprofit for that
Yes, she
taxes? We are not charged tax.
Oh, good catch.
Oh, yeah, so certain places I need to see if this person will remove tax. If that gets removed, would I then just give you guys the new estimate on the new amount that it gets taken off? Do I give you the invoice for it if this gets approved? That
We need
makes
payment,
Yeah.
yes.
The invoice would have to come in. for
Yeah,
payment.
so if it gets removed, then the amount that would be, because some places, accept tax. Some places, I guess it's a little difficult. Most places do. But if that would be the case, then the place would not be 27,000, it'd be 25,700.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Bessie.
What's the pleasure of the commission?
I think that this would be a good idea to support the library in Bolivar.
Okay. You want to move the motion?
Certainly I can. I make a motion to provide ARPA funding to the Bolivar Harpers Ferry Public Library in order to replace the building's roof. I guess pending the removal of the tax, right? Does that,
What should we say for 25?
for 25,700? Okay. Sorry, thank you very much. Did that make sense, or should I say it again?
I think we got it.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Kraus and second by Commissioner Tab to approve the amount of $25,700 for the roof. That is minus the tax that is on the quote. All right, just want
Right.
to clarify that. All right, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to agenda item number 6, Commissioner Tab, discussion of impact fees.
Commissioner, before you begin, our office is statutory counsel for both the county commission and the school board. And therefore, I'm going to remove myself from this meeting on this issue. I can't
have we-
negatively impact
Yes, sir.
either one.
Thank you, Nathan. All right. Mr. Bishop.
Yes. Yes, we have Dr. Bishop here from the school system Board of Education, use the correct term. And I've asked him to come and speak, and I'm sure we'll have more discussion afterwards.
Sure.
And welcome, you're the new guy.
Jessica, before we get going, do we also have Carson on the line? Is he able to talk?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir, we can
Yeah.
hear you. And
Okay.
tell us your name and who you're with.
Carson Bice,
Okay, and you're with the.
with Tischler Bice. Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That calculates
All
does
right.
the study for the impact fee.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here this evening. On the job for 7 months, and I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of you. But it's my first time before you, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about impact fees. You have a brief presentation. I didn't want to spend a lot of time inundating you with a great deal of data and information, but tried to get to the crux of the issue as I see it as the new person looking from the outside in to a degree. So just in terms of a brief historical overview, you know most of this. 2004, the impact fee program was initiated. It was an exploration of the reduction to impact fees to increase the residential build in 14-15. Then there was a commission study to determine the appropriate fees. In 2015, those impact fees were reduced across the board by about 50%. As we skip down through 2020, actually is interesting because it was the second highest number of new residential housing starts in the past 10 years, which we all would remember as the COVID year, at least beginning in March. Impact fee available to schools was reduced to $1 in 2021, September of 2021 to be exact. And then in 2023, over the last 10 years, we had the highest number of new residential housing starts. Just a quick 10-year history in numbers based on the single family dwellings, townhomes, duplexes, multifamily. I know there's a little over 6,100 since the program started. And in the last 10 years, there's been about 3,700, or it's been 3,766 new residential housing units. Did notice a typo when I was sitting in the audience, the 4-year history for schools. You can see in 2020, prior to the reduction of the fee, the single family unit meant $5,000, almost $6,000 to the school district. Townhouse, $6,748, duplex, $6,748, multifamily, $4,185. And of course, over the last 3 years, all 4 of those different types of units has been offered $1 per unit to the school district. Just the impact of that fee reduction in calendar year 2022, we received as a district $434 in impact fees. If the fee on the previous page was still in place, that would have meant $2.832 million. And then last calendar year, 2023, $771 in impact fees for schools, which is nearly $5 million. So over the last 2 years, reduction of what would have been available of about $7.749 million. My understanding of the purpose, and I have read the Tischler Bice study, is that one-time payments to assist in addressing growth. They should not be used for operations, maintenance, replacement, or correcting existing facilities. However, I know over the past few years and talking with some staff and looking at some of the information that's available, that they have been used for portions of roof or roof replacements and those kinds of things. And it does fill a funding void to address school-related growth. A sample of projects funded over the last few years: Washington High School, Driswood Elementary, Blue Ridge Elementary, Harpers Ferry Middle School addition. The bus garage was about $1 million facility, which is state of the art and one of the safest, has to be one of the safest in the state. The land purchase for both the new Ranson and Shepherdstown Elementary Schools. And then a portion of the cost for the construction of both of those schools was also funded from impact fees. Just some information here for you on excess levy budget trend data. You can see over the last 10 years where that's rested and how each year it's over the last 10 years, there's been at least a small increase, some years bigger than others. Proposed capital projects that were submitted to the impact fee office back in December, a new Shepherdstown Elementary, which we're in the process of getting started right now, auxiliary gym at Washington High School, a new middle school, ROTC wing at Jefferson High School, the possibility of a new high school, and then there are fees set aside for impact fee studies. Both of our new elementary school projects do have infrastructure that was funded out of impact fees for roads, so that if there were additional school facilities built on those two sites, much of that infrastructure would already be in place. I look at impact fees, again, only having been here 7 months, as purposeful planning. These are two examples. Our Ranson project and our Shepherdstown Elementary project. You can see the budget estimates for both of those. The amount of the impact fee that was assigned to each of those buildings, $2.3 million for the new Ranson, $3.4 to the new Shepherdstown. You can see that we didn't miss on the Ranson project, at least. The impact fee portion was not much less than the SBA contribution. The bond at $18.5 million, a table referendum at $450, some carryover funds and board designated funds. The Shepherdstown Elementary School was funded in much the same way, with a nice blending of funds to make sure that we can get that school built and opened here in about a year and a half. So I'm happy to answer questions that you might have. That was quick and brief, but I didn't want to insult your intelligence by giving you information that you already knew.
I do have a question.
Okay.
So once the new campuses are built for Shepherdstown and Ranson Elementary, what will happen with those existing buildings?
There hasn't been any discussion about that yet.
Okay.
We have had some internal discussions in our office about how those facilities might be used in the future.
Okay.
There's not been an official Board of Ed action at this point.
Okay. Thank you.
I do have a quick question. The enrollment has been declining, correct? Yes. Are we, is it appropriate to reinstitute impact fees if enrollment is declining? Or is it,
If you don't mind, I'd like to answer
no,
that
yes,
question.
thank you. If you know, sure.
Our county administrator and I met the project within this past week and looked back at the details of the most recent study, which was done in 2021. And I'll pass this out. Didn't have it. I'm trying to get in the agenda packet. But here it says in summary, based on the July 16th, 2021 impact fee study, collecting school impact fees for elementary and middle schools is not justified due to decreasing enrollment. However, collecting an impact fee for high schools is justified. Impact fee collected at this time based on this study shall be allocated to the high school's land and facilities capital category only. So based on this study, we can re-implement the impact fees, and it would basically go to the high schools. And I'm not making this motion this time just for discussion purposes. There's a 5-year cycle for us to do these studies on impact fees. and we'll need to do another soon.
That was from 21, I think you
Yes.
said? Okay. So in
So-
26, would that be it?
That'll take a while if we want to do it, or if we want to do it immediately to get more accurate figures with the amount of new residents that we
Okay.
have going on.
So does that mean, and I'm sorry, I'm new to this, but does that mean that for that 5 years that all of the impact fees that are collected go into this high school fund? No?
I-
No, sir.
No, I don't, that was the recommendation. I don't know where that landed at the end.
No, I believe that's what the Tischler advised.
Okay.
That's the way he calculated fees. But I mean, we could get a new study done sooner, and it might come back with different information too.
Okay.
And growth can mean a lot of things. It also could mean program growth. So as an example, if there was a need to add a lacrosse team,
Mhm.
and we needed a new field, then that could accommodate that need, if that was something that we thought was worthwhile and we wanted to do. So it doesn't necessarily have to be student growth numbers or an increase in student numbers, but also programming needs that might change.
Okay.
And there's a level of service in calculating impact fees, and that's some of the, I think what you're talking about, referring to some of them. And also, we know the alternative school can't handle elementary school kids right now, and that's a real concern.
There's a piece of legislation right now that would require us to work a little bit differently. I'll phrase this gently, work a little differently with some elementary students who might be having some discipline difficulties.
Mhm.
Could you speak up, please?
Okay.
Yeah, you can probably pull up Mike.
Oh,
You
okay.
almost got it.
Sorry about that.
You're right.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, I certainly can. Oh, wait, so, I see what you're saying. And the last question I have, I don't know, can you hear me back there, sir? Okay, I'm sorry about that. The next question I have is this only available to the public schools, or does this also apply to private or anything like that?
It's only applied to public schools currently that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I can tell you that we do have a contribution to the charter school in our budget. It's a little over $1 million. So
Okay.
there's some money that's going out also to some other education choices that people
Okay.
have.
I just wanted to note that under new programs in West Virginia, students who are homeschooled are able to use public facilities.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right, and that's what I said at, I
That
think,
money
last
is-
meeting, they can come and do band and be in sports
Yeah.
and all those extra things, FFA. I don't know if they-
Clubs, organizations, sports, our homeschool population can participate in those.
Yeah.
What I would like to see, obviously, I've been paying attention to the enrollment numbers, and we're talking about construction numbers, and construction numbers aren't equal in enrollment numbers. But I would like to, I know we have Tischler Bice online. I wouldn't mind them doing, updating this study and looking at it and bringing this back with some hard data, because to let us know what we can legally charge, because it's my understanding that these fees have to be ironclad so we don't get sued. And if we can collect a fee, like I'll refer to it as a Tim Tebow law or ordinance, or whatever you want to call it, where the kids can come over and play sports. We might not be able to collect money to build a school because the schools have capacity, but we might be able to collect money to, like you said, build a field or a field house, because we have kids coming from homeschool to play sports. But I would be very interested in seeing if we could get Tischler Bice to update it and bring us back some numbers, and kind of see what that looks like.
I believe Mr. Bice is online.
Mhm.
Is that recalculate?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Is that a short
Yeah.
project? How long will that take?
Yeah, so we could do a study fairly quickly. But I just wanted to sort of give some background here. I mean, because I strongly disagree with what the superintendent said about programmatic growth. Because impact fees can't be used to correct existing deficiencies or raise levels of service. And that certainly sounded like what he was espousing. You know, when you do an impact fee study, you have to basically satisfy 3 prongs of a legal test. One is you got to show nexus or need. And so that would necessitate there being growth in enrollments, at least long-term. And we have done some work. I remember there were several school districts in Florida around the Great Recession that were showing short-term declines, but long-term increases. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. They're growing faster now than they ever were. But if the long-term projection is that growth is going, or enrollment is going to decline, we would strongly recommend against impact fees. And that's exactly why, you know, part of the reason we recommended only to go after a school fee in 2021. The second, you know, the other important prong of the 3 prongs is benefit. So in order to satisfy the benefit test, you have to provide that excess or that extra capacity within a reasonable time period. And so if there's no plans to build either new elementary or new middle schools, or at least provide additions, then you're not going to meet the benefit test. I paid you a fee for elementary capacity or middle school capacity, but yet you haven't provided that benefit to me, right? So at that point in time, it was only anticipated that high school improvements would be made. Now, a lot can change in 3 years. And the point about charter schools and homeschools is certainly interesting and worth examining. And in fact, in Florida now, they've made some changes to the Impact Fee Acts where the school districts can now share money with the charter schools. And we'd like to explore that $1 million contribution that the superintendent referenced, particularly if it's related to capital, and what would be legal in West Virginia. And if you were going to use the fees, if you could show, make that nexus that, yeah, and I'm not saying that the projection for schools enrollment's declining. I'm just saying if that were the case. But let's just say that both are increasing. Let's say enrollment's increasing, but also homeschool and charter school enrollment's increasing, and there isn't a need for additional athletic facilities, field houses, et cetera. Then the fee should be based on the cost to provide that capacity, not the way this fee was calculated now, which is based on the average square foot to provide an overall school. My assumption is that the cost per square foot would be less if all we were talking about is athletic facilities. Otherwise, you're going to violate the 3rd prong of the legal test, which is proportionality. You've now asked New Growth to pay a disproportionate share of what their impact is.
Okay, that answers a lot of my questions.
Raises more, but.
Yeah, probably raises a lot more too. And I want to ask you on another note, I'm going to switch gears on you. When this last study was completed, the county did not own ambulance service either. Is that something that could be added to the calculation?
Certainly, particularly, yeah, but the short answer is yes. And there's lots of different ways we could go about that. I mean, I don't know the particulars of how you took it over, whether you had to purchase it or it was just conveyed to you. What are you going to build in the future? But yes, that is certainly an eligible impact fee expense or category. And we'd have to explore the different ways to go about calculating a fee for that.
Okay. I would be very interested in somehow contracting with them to come up with
An updated study.
An updated study. Yes, there you go.
To include ambulance and schools and I guess all the major components that we have.
I'll make the motion.
All right. I move that we contract with Tischler Buys for an updated impact fee study of all components and also add the ambulance service to that.
I'll second that. Any discussion?
Yes. In this motion, do we need to specify dollar amounts? I know we don't have it, so I wonder if it ought to be restructured or phrased differently.
Well, Once we have the contract,
Mhm.
then we can vote on approving it and the price will be there then.
We're requesting. a
With the
contract.
time.
Yeah, we're requesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We're requesting, the motion will be requesting a quote, is correct?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, I will.
Okay,
be
thank you.
Fine with that amendment.
okay, all
Terrific.
right. All right, any more discussion?
Sure. Just one comment. We talked about this during our last meeting. I support impact fees philosophically, but we have to follow the facts. We may be legally prohibited from raising the fee if enrollment is declining.
Right. No,
Understand.
I understand.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. We're going to take a short 2-minute break and we'll be right back. All right. We're back in session from a short recess. We're going to move on to agenda item number 7. Jennifer Kraus, Commissioner, discussion action, insurance billing by the fire departments. Do we have a representative from the fire departments want to come up, sir? I think we have Mr. Adam Watson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This is a pretty simple request. Currently, sorry, hold on. Currently, some departments are billing for fire department services and some are not. The last agreement that we had for independent was back in 2003. So we're 21 years past due on just renewing it essentially. We don't have to renew it, but per state law 71-3D, little c, it allows the county commission to authorize the volunteer fire departments or paid fire departments to charge reasonable reimbursement fees for personnel and equipment used in performing firefighting service, victim rescue, or cleanup of debris and hazardous materials by department personnel. Basically, all I'm looking at is just a blanket letter from the county commission with their approval to allow, per state law, for the volunteer fire departments to be able to bill for certain services. And it is detailed with our billing company now of what services we can bill for. It's pretty much anything with a loss. Anytime that we have a car crash and there's an extrication, we can bill for that. Structure fires, vehicle fires, any type of hazmat related. We just need basically your all's permission to be able to do it for the state law. So that's what I'm requesting to do today.
Okay. I had heard in the past that you were only allowed to bill like $500 per incident. Is that what we're talking about here, or are you able to reflect the services provided, the true cost of the services provided?
So with our billing company, they work so much with the insurance companies, they know what they are able to bill.
Okay.
And it also is within the state law. Under little c, what I just read, it actually, under 1 and 2, it defines certain things. You know, it says provided that no fee for any single incident or accident shall exceed $1,500, except that the fee for that incident or accident involving hazardous materials or extended search and rescue and water incidents for services rendered. So traditionally with fire billing, it's built into most insurance companies. Should your house catch on fire, they're going to write you a check. We just have to send them a bill, and then they're going to write us a check to get back for services rendered. If we have hose that's damaged on the fire scene, we're able to bill for that. Phone that we use to help put out the fire, we're able to bill for that.
Okay, well, that's good, because I just heard that it was just a $500 max, and, you know, there's no way you can really recoup your expenses.
It used to be $500. I think most insurance companies now are around $1,000.
Okay.
That's a flat fee should you have no other expenses.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hey,
Sorry about that. I was just going to say, I spoke to a commissioner from Hardy County, and he sent me the order that they have approved September of 2021, doing, you know, the same thing. He sent that to me just so we could have a look at it and see if we wanted to follow what it looks like. Or you're saying we need just a letter. They just have this whole order here, this.
I mean, technically, we don't have to have a letter. We just have to have your all's approval. So
Okay.
vote in the motion would suffice.
That would be enough.
But I have a letter from 2003 when Independent was authorized to bill for fire services. We just have to keep that on file with our billing company. So that way, if their insurance companies, if they look at the law and they know what they're doing, we're like, oh, let's see the letter.
Right.
So that way you have proof to be able to legally bill for the services. They can provide that to the insurance company.
Okay, all right.
And Mr. Cochran, what are you saying from the legal side?
Yes, just a couple of points. The order that Commissioner Kraus has would be useful to look at as a go by. Here's the thing. It does say you can, it says that the rate for any fees, I'm skipping words, must be approved by the county commission and must be reasonable. and then it has that. So that's one thing. And another thing, it says, the county commission shall require that any fees charged pursuant to the authority conferred by the section must be in writing and be itemized by specific services rendered and the rate for each service. So, that just needs to be done in their billing on, they may do that already, but.
The billing company probably does that, right? Itemize
Yes,
what you're billing.
they have, I'm sure I can probably retrieve that for you all, but they have what I guess is what is reasonable, what they're allowed to bill. I mean, you can essentially bill for whatever you want. It's
And if
whether
they're
somebody's going
billing,
to
they're
pay.
just generating an itemized bill to the
Correct.
person on what the service they're
Yes.
billing for
Yeah,
is.
and
I just wanted
I'm,
to say, I do also have a list from Hardy about what they charge. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but I'm happy
Okay.
to share it.
and I'm not like speaking against this. I'm just saying that's what the law requires you to do. Okay.
All right, any other discussion? Anybody?
Well, I'm in favor of moving forward on this. If we have to draft an ordinance or a resolution, what do we need?
Is that an ordinance or a resolution? Commissioner Kraus?
It's an order, the order by the County Commission of Hardy County, et cetera. I'm happy to, Nathan, do you want to have a look at this or?
Yeah, sure. The statute just seems to contemplate that there's a rate for the fees to be charged, and they may already have that rate from the insurance company, but it probably should be something that the commission memorializes. And then also
Right.
the requirement that they charge specific amounts for different things. So
Okay.
we could, if you want to provide that, we could maybe bring that back to you next time.
Okay,
Take a
well,
look at it.
what do you think? Chief, do you want to have a look at what I have with regard to the fees that they have attached?
I mean, that's fine. I can look at it. I
and-
don't have anything to compare it to.
Okay.
The only, and I understand where Nathan's going with this one.
Mhm.
But this could potentially have to be revisited every year because of prices. I don't.
Change fees.
Yeah, because we personally don't bill. We contract with MCA, which I believe is the same one you all use for EMS billing. So they know, we can get the rates from them. But
Well, maybe we could just adopt their billing, their fee rate.
Well, I'm going to make the motion that I move to request legal counsel to draft authorization to bill for fire department services rendered.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. You want to wait there, you can. I'm going to move up agenda item, since we're going to talk about fire.
Okay.
I'm going to move up agenda number 11. Mr. Fletcher. So this is about the fire protection fund disbursement.
Thank you. Okay,
And
sure.
all right. And
Maybe, thank you. Maybe we'll just ask the insurance company what they typically approve. Thank you.
all right. You can have the floor if you want to talk about, you're on the state board.
Right.
So kind of the public knows what we're doing here.
All right. What happened is during special session last year in August at the state capitol, the State Fire Association introduced some legislature. It worked into a line item on the actual state budget to give additional funding to the volunteer fire stations for fire services. That bill was moved, went through, and approved. Way it worked, it was $12 million line item. 6 million of that went to every station divided equally. It's split up. All 423, 24 fire stations in the state. The other 6 million was split in half. 3 million went to counties based off population, and then 3 million was dispersed to counties that had a levy or fee in place. Those funds were divvied out eventually, came around. The October of last year was this first 6 million was dispersed pretty quickly. Then the other half was dispersed in separate payments. The first payment based off of population was $99,674.06. And then based off of the fee, Jefferson County received $115,756.62. That brings it to a total of $215,430.68. That came to this county from legislature brought by the State Fire Association. And we met, I got with Chief Watson here at the county association level to work on getting that, once those funds came in, to have them dispersed equally among the 7 fire companies in Jefferson County.
Okay. And just for the record, we did receive an email from Chief Watson to requesting the split to be 1/7 to each of the fire companies. That makes it easier on us.
Absolutely.
Yes, 100%. We do have seven volunteer fire companies in the county, and makes it very easy. Did you want to add anything for the guidelines? Yeah, I'm talking to Eddie, our administrator, for the guidelines for the auditor's office.
We have to move to the auditor's office. Also, we're supposed to use this for the exclusive benefit of fire protection or emergency services in the county. So that's how it's supposed to be doled out. And the auditor's office told us that when we asked, we had heard that I'm very sorry. I think you can hear me, but not online. When we asked if there were any requirements through the auditor's office for these funds, they said they can't give us specific guidance, but as a reminder, in order to be compliant with the provisions of the West Virginia Code, the county must have some sort of documentation to support all expenditures. With any money distributed to by the county commission, there should be procedures in place to monitor and ensure the agencies receiving the funds from the commission are spending them correctly. There is always a possibility the county commission can be held liable if the receiving agency misappropriates the money. It's up to the county commission to determine the procedures for releasing these funds.
Yeah, and those state funds, once they're filtered through, we would follow the same provisions set by state code and what this county has used in the past, which has been based off of state code, if I remember correctly. So all those are tracked. Most stations, but eventually all will move over to the auditor's office. Came up with a new track or accounting system that all stations will follow, but West Virginia checkbook almost based. So everything's filtered into the same category and it's tracked. So when that audit comes in at each year, everything's tracked through that and they have those numbers. And if the county needs that, which we usually support, give all those numbers when we receive county funding.
Okay. Should we have, would you recommend us having some sort of a policy in place for the chiefs assigned to know what you're requesting, what you're going to request from them to be in compliance with the auditor's office?
I looked through our policies and we don't seem to have one in place that does this. So I'm excited that you are using some process already. My hope is that we could give guidance to the departments and then use that as a policy across the board, bring that policy back to you.
Okay. All right. So.
Right.
If I remember correctly, when they originally gave you all the money to give to us, we're supposed to be following what the state guidelines are anyways.
Okay.
Right. Which is all based off state code.
That was a stipulation of distributing.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have a problem showing you a receipt.
Yeah.
Or receipts in this case. That's not a problem if we need to.
Where would you prefer to do?
And so I want to get the money to them quickly, and I don't want to spend 6 months writing a policy and having them wait for that.
I think you have each one of them generate an invoice to send to the county that's trackable for disbursement of the funds.
Okay.
So an invoice and then allocate the money, and then a year from now, they say how they spent the money. Because the invoice is for services rendered in the future, not services rendered in the past.
Okay.
And that we could time that with budget. when you come for your next budget, then you can also give your accounting how you spent that.
We could either do it or when we turn in our 990s.
Well, you're right.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, maybe we just send a reminder to all, just the email reminder to all the chiefs stating that we're gonna need that next year with some backup. Okay. I'll be happy to move a motion to divide, help me out. What are we calling this fee? This fund, sorry.
Fire Protection Fund?
Is
Is that
there
what that is?
anything else?
Fire
Is-
protection.
So it came through in two different names, so I would call it
Yeah.
Fire Protection Funding, and that's Fund 041.
Okay, all right,
And that would be equally between the departments,
okay.
if that's the agreed upon.
I never
for
had
the-
a fund number. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll move to divide the fire protection fund 401 equally between the seven fire volunteer fire companies.
I'll second, and just to make it clear that that is the way the Fire and Rescue Association requested the funding be distributed.
Yes, ma'am. Any discussion?
Quick question.
Sure.
Was that 041 or 401?
401.
That's 041.
Oh, 041, sorry. It's
Thank
04.
you.
I want to change that to 041. All right. I'll amend that motion. Any other discussion?
I just want to make sure, and I think we're pretty clear on this, is that each department will generate an invoice to send it to the commission to get the disbursement of those funds.
I'll send it out to the departments to make sure that we get that to you. Yes.
Thank you.
And it has, yeah. All right, good deal. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Post, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Nathan. Number 8, Nathan Cochran.
Mr. Chairman, I have 4 items on my agenda request. The first 3, A, B, and C, I believe would require, or I would recommend that we go into executive session on those. We could do the last one, D, first if you wanted, or we can just do it when we come out. I will say that we have our counsel here for 8A, and so I'm trying to get that one handled as quickly as possible.
Okay. Would D be quick? Because I see the mayor, with Oliver Mayor's here too.
D, well, I can just tell you what it is. I have agreements, and as you know, for the past 3 or 4 years at least, there's been an intergovernmental agreement between the Jefferson County Commission, the sheriff, and the Corporation of Bolivar for tax collection services. And also, there's been a second agreement between the Jefferson County Commission, the sheriff, and the Corporation of Bolivar for public safety services. And in both of those cases, Bolivar provides some funds to the sheriff's department, and the sheriff handles some aspects of the tax collection and also some aspects of law enforcement for Bolivar.
Are you recommending approval for both those?
I do, and I have copies of them here. What will happen is it will be approved here. It will also be approved in Bolivar, which I think may have already happened, I'm not sure. And then essentially it will be sent to Charleston for approval down there and returned to us.
Okay. I'll move. I know we do this every year. I'll
Yeah.
move the motion to approve the intergovernment agreement between Jefferson County Commission, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, and the Corporation of Bolivar for Public Safety Services, an intergovernmental agreement between the Jefferson County Commission, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, and the Corporation of Bolivar for tax collection services.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
By opposed, motion carries 5-0. I'll move that we go in executive session to discuss 8A, B, and C to receive legal advice by our legal counsel on those 3 items.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
By opposed, motion carries. All right, ready? All right, we're live. We're on. All right, we're back in. I move that we come in back into regular session.
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner Kraus, I think, caught an error. I don't think we officially closed the probate special session. We might need to do that.
Yes, you want to make a motion?
Right, yeah. We failed to return to executive session. I mean, to regular session after
The
we were in
fiduciary.
the fiduciary commissioner session.
Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know how we properly correct that or just put in a note that we came back to regular session.
I don't know either.
Yeah, so we're certainly have a fiduciary view. All right,
Noted. Okay.
well noted. All right, is there any motions coming out of executive session? I will move one, and that is a move for agenda number 8C to direct our legal counsel to proceed as directed.
Point of order, I think it's 8B.
8B, sorry, 8B, sorry. Thank you. All right,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. All right, we're going to move on to agenda item number 9, discussion, possible action, agenda policy 900.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry that I did not have this at the last meeting. I was not prepared. Too much going on. I have gone back. I have rejiggered some of the wording with regard to some procedure. Jane, to address your issue of redlining, I did try to call you, and I left you a message. It was on February 2nd at 1:55 p.m. and I left a message on your voicemail. Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to let you know I did try, and I never did hear back, so I just went with it and did my very best. I believe this is a very properly done red line copy.
No, this is fine. I can really understand the changes.
Okay, thank you. The second issue, which I believe Tricia brought up about offering reasons for denials. I don't necessarily believe that that's necessary. I think we certainly can list a reason if we so choose. But the point here when denying an agenda request would be that you're forced to own your decision to deny that, whatever the reason might be. And it's also a slippery slope in that if you require a reason, you begin down the road of, is this reason good enough? Is that proper? Does somebody agree or disagree? And we may all disagree on the appropriateness of a reason. So in my lot of thought that I have given this, I don't believe that it should have to require a reason, but I have nothing against putting down a reason if a commissioner so chooses.
So one of my reasons for raising that is it might not be in the wheelhouse of the county commission,
Right,
which
right.
might be the reason for the denial.
Certainly, and you still can put
Yeah.
that. There's nothing prohibiting, you from putting a reason. I'm just saying I don't think that it should be required. But you certainly could. The last issue had to do with the procedure. What would the procedure be and so on, and concerns about violating Open Meetings Act in order to make a decision and things of that nature. So the general process has been put into place, and every procedure does not need to be in place. I believe that this is detailed enough. There are office procedures enough to implement the policy. The presumption currently is that one does not have a right to get on an agenda unless the president or 3 county commissioners agree to put it on the agenda. And all my policy revision does is to change that presumption to that an item will be put on the agenda unless 3 or more commissioners deny that request in writing. So it's important to note, of course, that there's a difference between policy and procedure, where the policy is essentially the law, the procedure is simply how we implement the law. To address the issue of Open Meetings Act and having to have a meeting in order to decide what the agenda would be, I do have an issue with that. If it would be a violation of the Open Meetings Act for 3 commissioners to deny an agenda request outside of an open meeting like this, then it is equally a violation of the Open Meetings Act for 3 commissioners to approve an agenda request outside of an open meeting. And that is how this is currently written. So one way or the other, you know, it's one or the other. As it is right now, is that a violation? No. And as it's written to, as it's written to address the concerns, neither is it a violation of open meetings. So that's what I have to say. I'm curious to know if everybody read that, read the changes. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer those questions.
Anybody have anything?
Well, you know, took the online ethics training and talked about, can't find it in my PowerPoint, that there was a ruling by the Ethics Commission that some board could, you know, work on their agenda as a group and not violate the Open Meetings Act, but you have to take great care not to enter into deliberations.
Of course.
While you're setting your agenda.
Of course not. That we wouldn't be touching on any type of deliberation at all.
It would have to be a self-policing issue for all of us. And I'm not saying.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be a problem, but I think it could be. But my first of my comments is, I think we should send this to the Ethics Commission for their consideration of, you know, guidance. Are we straying too far or not far enough? I mean, is there something we're leaving out that would be a safeguard that there's no appearance of violating the Open Meetings Act?
Okay, so let me address that. As it is written now, it says in our agenda policy that the president or 3 commissioners or a majority of commissioners may make a decision to put somebody on an agenda. How is that not a violation of the Open Meetings Act? But what I'm suggesting, which is simply the reverse, to deny as opposed to approve, how would it be that that would be a violation?
That's what I want the Ethics Commission to answer for me, because
so
I still have concerns on that.
But if it's in there currently and we're not violating it, I don't understand what the difference is. I'm sorry. It's already in there and none of us has a problem and says that our agenda policy is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. So it's the same thing. I'm not changing anything except the presumption being that if you've emailed in a properly, you know, correctly filled out agenda request, the presumption is now that you will be on the agenda unless 3 county commissioners deny that in writing.
Okay.
And there is a record of that. There is provision in there.
Each commissioner is to review the agenda.
The request.
The requested items to be on the agenda,
Mhm.
and then somebody a commissioner to, for whatever reason, wants to deny the request, then they email to
So,
staff.
this
That's
is,
what I
yes.
don't understand how we're
Okay.
physically going to do.
Yes, ma'am. So I was considering this today, trying to assume questions that could be asked. And I was recalling how, and I've only been here a year, but since I've been here, we have had occasions where the county administrator at that time would email the commissioners all together, to say, we need an emergency funding for such and such. Can I have that, permission? And we have answered via email, yes or no, but, whatever it might be. That's been allowed. It would be the same. So it would be the same thing.
No, some of us have not done that by email also. So it depends on the circumstances.
Have not done what by
By
email?
not reply to request approved funding by email.
I seem to recall that you did reply to the one that I'm thinking about.
Well, there have been two in the past that I have not replied.
Okay, well, but it would be a quorum, would it be a majority? It doesn't have to be all 5 commissioners in agreement. It would just have to be the 3. And that's all I'm suggesting. And the point here isn't to get anything over on anybody. It is simply to be sure that the public have a voice in the government, that they have the ability to participate in the way that the county government is running. We must remember that we are public servants. We don't sit here to be served by anybody. We're here to serve. That is it. And if somebody from the public has a concern that hasn't been answered and they feel that they need to come to us and get help, we should allow that. There's no reason why we should not do that. It's all about transparency. It's all about giving a voice. It's all about giving a voice to our residents who want to have a say in their government or are having a problem with something and need our help, whatever it might be. We must allow that. And that's where I'm coming from. And I believe that that's very important. There have been instances where people in the county have been ignored or denied, and I should say ignored. This would be a way to remedy that. We would all be able to have a look at that agenda request. If there's a problem with it, you can deny it. But you have to publicly, via email, say no or sure. And that's what I believe is very, very important. It would give a voice to the people who have been struggling to have their voice heard. So that's where I'm coming from. Does anybody else have any other questions?
I don't have anything.
No? Okay. Well, then I make a motion that the county commission adopt the resolution, pardon me, reading the wrong one. Excuse me. I make a motion that the county commission adopt the agenda policy 900 with the revisions as submitted, effective immediately.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I'll make a comment. This is very theoretical on the practical issue that affects our residents, ambulances for underserved communities. I have already requested a report, and when it's ready, we will see it on the agenda.
That doesn't address the several other issues that other residents have had in the county of late.
Only comment I'll say, as I do agree a little bit with Commissioner Tab, the fact that we're still taking a vote by email, and I'm not sure that that would pass the mustard for the Open Meetings Act.
But I disagree that it's a vote. I think it's simply a yes, no. Guess that does sound like a vote. The point that I'm trying to make is we're trying to allow people their voice to be heard in the county in front of us. I believe that's their right. And if the way our agenda policy is written now is not a violation of open meetings, I do not understand how what I'm saying, which is no different except flipped. Yes, they'll get on as opposed to no, they won't get on. How is that different? I'm not changing anything about, it says right now in our agenda policy that 3 commissioners can vote to approve, but we're not ever presented with that. So.
Anybody else?
I would like to make a comment that if any citizen has an issue, I have put, can you not hear me? What's the problem?
I have an issue. I agree with her, and I spoke about this.
I'm not talking to you. I just wanted to know why your hand went up. So you were saying you're someone that had an issue?
Yeah.
Okay. What I want to say is that as a commissioner, I've had people bring their issues to me and I have put it on the agenda. And I think, it's up to each commissioner to decide if that item is worthy to be on the agenda. I know you don't understand, and I believe I understand where you're coming from and the change you want to make, but I do have concerns with this, but I don't know how to make it. I don't know what the best change would be. Yeah, but I do want citizens to know that they can approach individual commissioners to have an item put on an agenda. There's different ways to get on the agenda. Excuse me, I'm talking, you're interrupting.
So if
it's up to each individual commissioner, should they want to put something on the agenda.
But you personally don't respond to emails, ma'am. That's a fact.
So if what you're saying is true about the agenda and being a violation of Open Meetings Act in order to allow people to get on the agenda, then we would need to discuss at the end of every single meeting, the next meeting's agenda. And we don't do that. Nobody does that. That's my point. It isn't a violation of the Open Meetings Act at all. It's not as though we are voting on secretly what we're going to vote on at the next meeting. We're not deliberating on anything. We're simply saying, oh yeah, that I know there are lots of accidents at that intersection. We should hear what these residents have to say about that, whatever it might be. And that's all I'm trying to say.
Any other discussion? Hearing done, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Nay. Motion fails 2-3. We're going to move on to agenda item number
I can't
10.
believe that.
Discussion action.
Really, Tasha?
Adopt the resolution of the pledge for West Virginia. Mr. Jackson.
So that must have you didn't know West Virginia had a pledge to its flag, did you?
No, I remember from elementary school, but it's been a while ago.
So I put the resolution out. I'm gonna read the resolution and then I'll make some statements over this. So I presented the resolution, it's Jefferson County Commission, that says, whereas the first flag, West Virginia's first flag was authorized by legislature on January 28th, 1864, and individual flags were presented to each of the state's military regiments before the end of the Civil War. The first official flag of West Virginia was adopted in 1905 based on the flag's design and was used by the West Virginia Commission in the Louisiana Purchase Exposition. The flag was altered in 1907
for the Jamestown Exposition and featured the coat of arms. The present-day West Virginia flag was adopted by legislature on March 7th, 1929. And whereas the Great Seal of West Virginia illustrated on the flag was designed by Joseph H. Dis DeBar of Doddridge County in 1863 and adopted by the legislature on September 26, 1863. I'm sorry, my eyes are tired, so I'm trying to get through this. Whereas the Great Seal bears the motto, Monte Semper Libre, which mountaineers are always free, which was adopted as the official motto of the state of West Virginia in Article 2, Section 27 of the state constitution signed in 1872. And the Great Seal of West Virginia displays a farmer to the right and a miner to the left of a large rock bearing the date of admission to the Union, June 20th, 1863. The two men, a farmer and a miner, stand on either side of the boulder representing agriculture and industry. The farmer stands on the right with an axe and a plow before a cornstalk and a sheaf of wheat. The miner stands on the left with a pickaxe and behind him 2 barrels, an anvil, and a sledgehammer. And whereas the state's coat of arms in the center of the Great Seal symbolizes the principal pursuits and resources of West Virginia, in front of the boulder lie 2 cross hunting rifles. And I'm going to mispronounce this. It's a Phrygian, I believe is how you say it, cap, which is the cap of liberty, to illustrate the importance of the state's fight for liberty. And whereas the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of West Virginia was unanimously adopted by the Secretary of State's office after being duly moved and seconded by Charles S. Smith and Carol J. Calvert on February 8th, 1977. And with that, I'll give you the Pledge of Allegiance to the West Virginia state flag, which says, I pledge allegiance to the flag of West Virginia, which serves as a constant reminder that mountaineers are always free, which stands as a symbol of her majestic mountains, fertile forest, rich veins of coal, and the pride of her people. Now, therefore, let it be resolved by the County Commission of Jefferson County, West Virginia, that the County Commission hereby adopts the Pledge of Allegiance to the West Virginia state flag. Be it further resolved that the County Commission of Jefferson County, West Virginia hereby expresses its intent to commence each meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to the West Virginia state flag immediately following the pledge to the flag of the United States. I am, as a native of West Virginia, I feel it's important to remember the history and the heritage of this great state, to acknowledge it and to share it with the younger generation. So and fellow West Virginians need to remember the birth of this state and the heritage that built her to be so gallant and proud. So I'm calling on my fellow commissioners to join me in adopting this resolution to honor this great state and its heritage. And I just want to make note that the resources for this pledge came from the West Virginia Archives and History and the West Virginia Department of Arts, Culture, and History. And Curator Smith, out of the Arts, Culture, and History Department, was so excited to learn that I was looking for this. He provided me the backup documentation, including the resolution from the Secretary of State's office that was signed February 8th, 1977. So I'm asking my fellow commissioners to join me in honoring the state, recognizing her heritage, and to adopt this resolution along with me.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Yes. West Virginia was founded in the fight for freedom and human rights. I'm proud to vote yes.
Anybody else? Anything else? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
I have a clean copy of the resolution. By the way, the one in the agenda packet had a small typo, so I have a clean copy of the resolution for all of us to sign.
We'll go ahead and pass it around now. We'll sign while we're here. And then we'll be ready to move on to our administrative reports.
Be easier if I just did this. read anymore.
While you're signing that, I'll start running this down so we can move forward. First, an update on the hiring solicitations. The deputy county administrator position closed, and there are currently 18 positions, or 18 applicants for the county administrator position, which closes tomorrow. So please get your applicants in. Emergency services onboarding. We worked our way all the way through the HR policies, and now we just have legal questions to go through, and we are working on that. The TIF lawyer information. So to give background for the public, on the 7th of September, the commission tasked the county administrator with hiring outside counsel to advise the commission on the Hilltop Houses tax increment financing. And then on January 18th, the commission provided additional guidance that the interim county administrator provide letters of engagement for their review before hiring a TIF attorney. Those are included in this packet. In soliciting those, I provided the names of the firms that I had reached out to, and those are still listed here. So John Stump's firm, Steptoe and Johnson, and represents Hilltop House. We also reached out to Jackson Kelly Bowles Rice, Frost Brown Todd, which turned out to be conflicted, and Spillman Thomas and Battle. And then I asked for any additional firms and was provided one that was a investment banking firm. So the legal firms are included in this packet here. I asked for details regarding fees, a summary of experience on TIFs, which are that tax increment financing, as in addition to any experience on sales tax increment financing, which are called STIFs, payment in lieu of taxes, which are called pilots, or other economic development financing programs. And I also asked for details regarding the attorney or the firm's current representation before the commission, its departments, boards, or commissions. So all that information is attached.
Do you want us to move a motion to select one of those tonight?
I would like to, I have some concerns on just a couple as far as conflicts of interest that I would like to look just a bit further in. And the conflicts of interest, and Nathan, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but does a representation from a firm make the whole firm ineligible? Anyone from that firm ineligible if there's a conflict?
Yeah, I would have to say that I'm not the arbiter of conflicts of interest. And that would be up to the attorney involved to seek some sort of an opinion about whether or not they had a conflict of interest or whether or not they believe there was a conflict.
Or could me as an individual commissioner ask about conflicts of interest from? I mean, I guess my concern is, you know, Bowles Rice represents some of the solar facilities and sent a letter to this commission on the repeal of the solar text amendment. We've got Mr. Stump from Jackson Kelly. I'm just, doesn't make the whole firm ineligible or conflict.
There are typically provisions under the rules that they can build a wall between themselves and other folks in the firm. But again, that would have to be something that the lawyer who is in question would have to answer that and describe whether or not he or she believes they have a conflict and whether or not he or she believes that under the provisions of the attorney rules that they can successfully navigate that issue.
Administrator Benitez, part of the request for information, the third part was about potential business before the commission or subparts of the commission. Could you summarize the answers to that question from the firms?
all the firms reported back that at least in speaking to them, that they didn't have any representation before the firm, before the commission or the boards. And so I think you bring up an interesting point about solar.
Well, so that, but I mean, just on Bowles Rice, they have, the attorney has 2 estate matters before the county commission right now as fiduciary board. And these are obviously bolded or red for a reason. The same attorney also has an appeal of a decision of the Jefferson County Board of Zoning Appeals. So that, those are the things I would.
Why don't we, I don't disagree with you. Why don't we look at another firm? There's several that submitted, like Spillman Thomas. I don't know that they have very many conflicts that I saw. Just gonna throw it out there. I don't necessarily disagree with you on that one.
Well, we didn't ever vote to approve a TIF in the first place, did we?
No, our motion was to hire outside counsel to give us legal advice.
Okay.
That was the motion.
All right.
Does-
Right.
Let me ask you this, does anybody have any issues with Spillman Thomas?
I like their application.
Okay, okay. Somebody want to move a motion to hire?
So moved.
All right,
Okay, and that is to engage Spillman Thomas and Battle.
and I'll second that. All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor to hire, engage with Spillman Thomas Battle for purposes of providing us legal advice as a TIF attorney. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks to the county administrator for asking these questions about business before the county. I agree with the spirit behind Commissioner Jackson's scrutiny of this issue and potential conflicts. It's important that we get advice from somebody, from an entity that doesn't have interests in the other direction.
I agree. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
All right. The next part of that suggested motion was to schedule them to come in at the next available commission meeting. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
You need a motion? So moved?
Yeah, I don't think the schedule.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, fine.
Then the next was on boards and employee ethics training. So recently we have announced through the alert system, through social media, through emailing directors to notify their boards about ethics training for boards. And the second one of that was hosted on February 8th. I hear it was quite well attended by several of our boards. Then we also did an ethics training for our staff. I made it mandatory. And I was very surprised that on Tuesday when the county was closed, and not only did I make it mandatory, I asked department heads to take attendance and report back to me so that I know any staff who didn't attend so we can follow up with them to find out why they were unable to attend. On Tuesday, the county was closed and we had 86 people attend which is amazing. They didn't even have to come to work and they came to an ethics train. Then earlier today, we only had 50 some people attend. But what I found out was that was in large part because so many offices held it on their office screen and had everyone attend in the office. So the numbers seemed like they were down until I found out from directors. I want to say we have 80 some people over at ESA, and I think one person didn't attend, which I think is amazing. So I really commend the directors for
Given the schedules they have.
yeah, and even directors and staff for making that happen. So that was amazing, and I'll be following up for anyone who wasn't able to attend. We recorded both sessions, and we'll try to get them to that. With the opioid settlement plan, I worked with the sheriff's office to work out any of those last minute questions about moving the funds from the opioid settlement account into a CDR account. Again, this is a fairly new fund that we have, a very new fund that we have, moving it to kind of a new way of investing these funds. And so there were some questions that their office needed to figure out. In that time, we've accrued additional interest. And so there's a letter in here to do exactly what we had done at the last meeting with the increased dollar amount. And then that way the bank can go ahead and get it with everyone's signature. So I have that suggested motion there to approve the attached letter to move the opioid settlement funds into the CDR account.
Sorry, I'm scrolling.
I'll move to approve the attached letter that's in our packet to move the opioid settlement funds into the CDR account.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0.
The next is just an FYI. So we did an internal budget revision for ARPA. And that is because when we budgeted funds for ARPA for this fiscal year, we put together a budget amount, and this was under the past staff. And during that time, we lost staff. And when the numbers were entered into the budget, the allocations for ARPA that had gone between the time of writing the draft budget and finalizing the draft budget didn't take into account the funds that had gone out through ARPA. So those internal budget revisions are included in the packet here, so you can see how those changed.
Do we need to vote on each one of those? No?
No, it's just for your information. Then the next I suggest is 2 personnel issues, and so I recommend going into closed session for those.
You have on here a budget dates approval.
Yeah, do you want?
Can we do that before we do executive session? Or?
We could do that. So for the budget dates approval, I have on that draft schedule that had gone out, we have three hearings, public hearings that would happen between now and a little after that next commission meeting. So I would recommend approving those. There's one date change of February 22nd, changed to February 21st. So I would recommend approving those so that we'll post those and send those out on the alert.
So the dates are, again?
Well,
I don't.
They're on the second page.
Yeah, they're in here, but I want to just clarify or ask a question. So we've got February 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Mm-hmm.
3 full days of individual department budget presentations to the commissioners. So the 15th, 16th, and 19th, that's just where we're deliberating on the budget, correct? I'm trying to understand
on
the
March
3
15th.
different.
Do you mean 15th, 18th, and
15th,
19th? Is that
18th.
18th?
Yes, it is,
Okay.
18th and 19th.
That's when we'll come to look for, like, pick your cuts on the 15th, we'll go back, revise it, bring it back. And continue to revise.
Which is in March, right?
March, yeah.
So we were going to come back to you because I know how schedules change. I'm hoping that you hold those dates. We've
So
sent
I
those
know
out as the draft
The
schedule.
26th, I cannot do. I can do the 27th, February, sorry, 26th. I cannot be present.
And I was going to say about Monday, March 11th, I'm not sure. It says schedule community forum for public hearing of budget. Is that something that we're all required to attend, or is that just a public thing? I'm asking because I have a conflict that evening.
And I'll defer to Bessie here. I'm glad that you came,
Just-
Bessie.
She's like, what am I gonna do?
My eyes are very tired.
Yes, I understand. I'm
Yeah.
seeing 6 and 8.
I guess that's where we actually come and present, and I don't know because I haven't done this before. Where they present what everyone's presented to the commission and to lay out what we're requesting.
Requesting. So that's,
I don't think that anything is to vote on, it's just to share the information with the public.
Okay,
But usually we have, like a draft budget?
okay.
And then we have the community make comments. So I don't think we'll have that done by March 11th if the it's not a fast and easy
yes.
process. I think we need to move it back some because of course, we can wait and see how fast we make progress on the budget, but it's got to be balanced, and that's always the challenge.
So Bessie, if you have that full sheet, we have these dates to move through the budget and so to ensure that we get it submitted on time.
Yes, I realize that, but, you know, we're going to have 3 days of budget presentations, and I don't know if the following week we will get it balanced.
Yeah, see, I had March 11th,
I mean,
12th,
are we
13th,
going to
14th.
book that whole week
marked for some
afterwards
reason
to
for
come
budget.
in and deliberate?
But it's not, anyway, I'm not available on the 26th, February 26th. Where you were going to do the presentations from the departments. That's the only day. I can do the 27th and 28th that week.
So that's 27, 20. This is up for us to receive budget requests from the departments.
Yeah.
That only
presentation.
takes 2 days. And so
Yeah,
I think that
you
should work.
usually schedule them,
Mhm.
what, 20 minutes, something like that?
Yeah.
Depending on the department.
Yeah, usually I think less than that. So 27th and 28th to receive budget requests. Is
The
that
presentations, yeah.
presentation, I guess? Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah, or maybe just put another day in there for flexibility.
All right, how about the 29th? If we need it?
Works with me. I don't have a calendar in front of me.
Okay, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I'm not-
when,
I'm
that's,
not going
If we need
anywhere,
to
so I'll
roll
be
to the
available.
29th, I can make that work.
yeah, that's
I mean, if we
Tuesday,
need to add that.
that's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we'll have presentations. And then, try to get them on Tuesday and Wednesday, the 27th, 28th. We'll just use the 29th in case of a snow day. Maybe.
Maybe. We don't want to make decisions on the 29th of February, do we? No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding.
I know, leap year.
Yeah.
And then we'll deliberate on the budget when in March. Fix what's some dates that you're available. Yeah, somebody's not available.
Well-
March 11th.
Is there an objection? I don't know why I have March 11, 12, 13, 14 in my calendar.
It says here on our chart, normal schedule, the 12th through the 14th, and then under FY '25 schedule, it says Monday, March 11th. Is that why that you have those 4 dates down?
I have it in there too. It's something that Sharada emailed us from Eddie's email to save those dates.
11, 12, 13, 14?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I have the whole week. Budget
Oh,
workshop.
so the week of March 11th. Okay, maybe I'm reading.
That's
I
what I
have
have.
What if we,
12, 13, 14, 15.
what if we start on, so is everybody available on March 11th
Well, you're not in the evening, right, Jen?
Right.
But during the day.
during the
Yes.
day? Okay.
Yes.
Well, why don't we schedule it for like deliberations on the 11th at 9:30?
So I think that was the one that needed to happen at night, right? I think that
Because
was a
it's for the
motion you had.
community.
Those workshops can be during the day.
No, the workshops are during the deliberations usually during the day.
The
We start going
workshops are
through.
balancing the budget,
Yeah.
usually during the day.
So the March 11th.
The 21st was the one we moved. It was the 22nd and we moved to the 20th.
I would prefer not to do March the 11th because I would be out of town
Okay.
that weekend in case there's any last minute changes that we need to do.
How about the 12th?
12,
At 9:30?
13.
And
Yeah,
then
12, 13.
would you want to go back to back, like 12th, 13th? Or would you want a day in between so you can go back and make the adjustments and then come back? Because that's usually what we do,
If we space a day in between each one.
at least.
Yeah.
So how about we go and schedule the 12th and the 14th?
Mhm.
And if we need any additional time from there, we can schedule some dates for the following week that this commission.
18th, Commissioner Jackson will be able to make it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I think 2 days is all we're gonna need for deliberations.
Oh, you're so hopeful.
I'm being hopeful. I'm
We
being
gotta
positive.
do
Would you
capital too,
clarify
you know
something? When
that.
you all use the term deliberation, is that a regular commission meeting? Is that a special meeting?
All these
What
are
is it?
special.
So
Special
when
meeting?
they present, Commissioner Rashid, when they present, they just present. We don't make any decisions. Everybody
Mhm.
comes in and
Yeah.
gives us all their ask. And then the deliberations where we start going through and prioritizing. And we have, we're obligated, statutorily obligated to fund certain departments. So we usually start with the ones we're not obligated to fund for cutting
Mhm.
and to balance the budget. So that's what the deliberations are, is us saying.
Thank you.
Okay,
yay,
so,
nay, and stuff.
so everybody's okay with receiving budget 27th, 28th, 29th as a backup. And then we're going to deliberate on March 12th and March 14th. But on March 14th, we will schedule an additional meeting if needed for the following week at some point.
At 9:30.
At 9:30, all these meetings are at 9:30. So 4 of those meetings, all 4 of these meetings are at 9:30.
And do those go all day? That is.
I would plan on being here till lunchtime on both of them, all of them.
Oh, okay,
Well, the
not
budget
full day?
presentations, though, usually run most of the day.
They do.
Yeah, they might, maybe some of those might run to 3. We'll see the schedule, like maybe till 3 o'clock.
So like the sheriff's
Yeah.
office has animal control
Yeah.
and the tax office to present, so.
Okay.
And I think I would just ask all the department heads, if their budget is not increasing, which would be rare, encourage them to make a very short presentation.
We do have a few that have submitted flat budgets.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean,
That's good.
I mean, and when we schedule them for 5 minutes, because if they're presenting a flat budget, it's pretty simple, I think, in my opinion.
Well, I'm a more detailed
Maybe
person. I
10.
like
Yeah.
to see if
Maybe
they
10.
had
Okay, 10 minutes.
money budgeted for training and they maybe didn't use, do we, if they have
Yeah.
5,000 for training and they didn't use it, do we
Yeah.
just give them 5,000 again this year, or can we move that somewhere else?
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
All right, is everybody agreeable with those states? Sounds like it. And
Yeah.
we'll move on to personnel issues. I will move that we go into executive session to receive advice on personnel issues from our county administrator. Acting county administrator. Anybody else? We don't know yet.
Yeah, I'll
Is there
second.
potentially going to be action on these? You should-
I don't know.
And I think the other question that needs to be answered, that the employee can request an open session.
I don't even know who the
Would
employee is.
the personnel, would they want to request open or close?
It's up to you.
Personnel, I wasn't informed, so I don't know.
Well, I think this is a farmland protection board issue, not a
So-
personnel issue.
It's two personnel issues.
Two separate persons.
Oh, it's a personnel issue and then a
Okay.
budget consideration for farmland protection. So
Correct.
we'll go in, receive legal advice on both of those. For both of those.
We'll discuss personnel issues, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Here's mine. Yeah, I'm confused now.
I'm confused as well.
I don't know if that's noticed. Is it noticed appropriately to handle? That's what I'm concerned about.
Well, the budget consideration is the personnel we will, I don't know.
So if these are two separate issues and farmland protection is here, can we deliberate on this one? And then.
Does the
when we're
farmland
finished-
have to go into executive session?
We'll both discuss promotion, hiring issues. So if they want to be in public, they can be in public. If they'd like to go in private, they're welcome. to
I
go in
think my
private.
concern is it's not noticed properly on the agenda. It just says personnel issue. It's not around, it's not specific, I think is my concern. It just says personnel issue.
I don't know that how specifically yet because it is personnel and it's not public. So. We don't know the issue. I don't even know the issue, so I'll just say leave it like that.
Mr. Chairman, I move to move into executive session pursuant to the Open Governmental Proceedings Act, Section 6-9A-4, Exception 2A, quote, matters arising from the appointment, employment, retirement, promotion, transfer, demotion, disciplining, resignation, discharge, dismissal, or compensation of a public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee, unless the public officer or employee or prospective public officer or employee requests an open meeting.
Second. Yeah, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, because I don't think it's properly
Opposed?
noticed and she's admitted she didn't know about.
I'm sorry.
that
You
option.
know.
No.
I said no.
Okay, no, so we're not going to executive session.
Okay, motion fails.
All right, so what do you want to do?
With that, the two have budgetary implications, so we'll put it on the next agenda and we'll move forward with the budget, how we have it currently in the budget.
Sounds good. All right, anything else needs to come before us tonight?
The next one that I had on here was with regard to farmland protection. And that is farmland protection currently is in a weird position. So it was created, I want to go back to it looks like 2022. So February 2022, there's a motion to make Miss Elizabeth Wheeler the director of the Farmland Protection Board. And she had previously existed in the JCDA. And so she then became a department head of a department that doesn't exist with the oversight of the county administrator and the finance office. And so this was passed unanimously, but then we had a huge turnover in staff. And so now I think we all know that Miss Wheeler has been fantastic. And I have never seen a Farmland Protection Board director do what she does. So she's kind of led the state when we go to some of these JCDA events. We hear about what farmland protection is doing in Jefferson County. But within the budget since that time, there have been increases in salary that exceed what we have in our personnel for compensation, and it hasn't been approved by the commission because we have this board that is able to hire and pay according to the farmland protection provisions, but then we have this pseudo department that hasn't been put into a department yet. So this is one of the considerations that we need to figure out for budget, is what do we want to do with farmland? Because currently the position, the director is in Hunter House in the administration office. The rent is over in JCDA, and then they have a transfer tax. So how then do we fit these all into one department? And what the county has done in the past with similar departments, I think we can look at Parks and Rec, and they operate as a component agency all on their own. And they pay their own staff and salary out of their own budget and never comes before the commission. And then you have the JCDA, which receives its salary and benefits through the commission, and all of the salary and benefits has to be approved by the commission. So that's kind of the knot that was created in 2022 by just not having consistent staff in Hunter House.
So what's your recommendation?
So there are 3 recommendations that I provided there, taking, and I probably lost my page in here. So one was to make them a component agency similar to what you have with Parks and Rec. And so that has them do all of their own payroll and benefits. And right now, we put the director in Hunter House, so in that
They're under
401
the
budget.
commission. Yeah.
And then they're reimbursed, and that reimbursement line goes into the general treasury. So it becomes
The
kind of messy.
Farmland Protection Board reimburses the county
For the salary.
for the salary and the
So-
health benefits.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that comes out of Hunter House and then goes back into the general treasury. So there are a couple of ways of doing it. I recommend doing it like Parks, where they become their own component agency and do their own HR, that you put them into the JCDA where they exist before. And the thinking with putting them into a current department is right now it's a position of 1.5. So reimbursement for the director comes to the county, and then half of a full-time employee that we share with Berkeley County is reimbursed to Berkeley County. So this is all knotted up. So then do we put them into JCDA and have them get oversight of hiring and promotions? Or there has been a concern in speaking with Jane that if we do that, is there a different philosophy with JCDA than there is with farmland? And maybe you put them into a regulatory place like planning, zoning, and engineering.
So we moved out of JCDA. So, and we did that for, I don't know what reason, but we did move.
Well,
That's when this happened, this motion happened, right?
well, let me tell you some history, because, you know, I was there with the first board. So for 2 years, you know, farmland operated with its appointed members, and we were volunteers, and we still managed to get some things done. Not very well, but we got it done. And then when the transfer tax was approved, you know, that helped. But the very first officer in farmland protection, it was a dual role, one person, was Kelly Bowles. She was the ag development officer. Excuse me. She's the ag development officer half-time and the farmland protection board director. When she left after, I don't know, 5-6 years or so, she said and told the commission that farmland should be its own position because it's a lot of work. And, you know, the program is growing, so it is a lot of work. So then the board, you know, we split off from the development authority and had our own office using county facilities. We need to pay rent. We can pay rent. We have an income stream with transfer tax. When the director was made a department head, that was made to resolve an issue within the building. No reflection on the director. There was just an issue within the building, and you know, the board is firmly in control and active and meets monthly, and you know, they have the ability to hire the staff. You know, I realize with turnover in staff, I think on the financial end, on the county commission end, it's gotten messed up. I don't know. I don't know the system. I can't go in there and explain what was done. But I don't see any reason to change them or you know, we have one part-time employee, you know, we may hire someone else. I don't, with being a department, I don't think there's an requirement to have a number of employees. I understand the HR issue. I think we can address that and get the financials records working correctly in our Iowa Munis system. So.
I mean, with what Jane's saying, I like the idea of making it a component agency. I mean, there's a board that
Yeah.
has the oversight and can provide the guidance and helping with that. I mean, that's how the ESA did for a long time, is they had the board helping to manage the finances and with the oversight of the director and so forth. So I kind of like the idea of the component agency and not to try to muddy any waters in JCDA or, you know, even engineering, planning and zoning. I kind of like the board having the oversight as over the agency.
And, you know, right now we have 1.5, well, we have a contractor that's half-time that does a lot of the GIS stuff, and Liz is full-time. You know, we may grow to 3 employees. Liz, if you don't mind me sharing, you're looking to retire. The board wants to post the position and hire a new director. That's going to take time, but I just, you know, I want to maintain us as a component agency of Jefferson County Government.
And then you would, the agency or the director would just come to the commission during regular budget season and do their presentation and all that, just like the
Well,
Parks and Rec.
The board would make the decision, but there's no budget request because we reimburse the county for all the expenses.
Yes. Okay.
I think Ms. Wheeler, do you have anything you'd like to?
I was wondering if I could just make a few comments
Yes.
about the history of, if you want me to go up to the mic. I also have my board member here as well, Eric Barrett.
Treasurer, so he knows about the money.
So Betty is absolutely right. This is a very squirrely entity. And the reason why is that we have, the board was, Farmland Protection Boards were created as component units of county government. So county formed the Farmland Protection Boards, and we are one of 22 in the state. Let me find my notes here. So when the board started here in 2000, as Jane explained, there was a employee who was half ag development, which was under JCDA, and then half farmland protection program. And so the board has reimbursed the county for payroll and benefits annually. The issue about rent for the office space that we use, we've never been asked to pay rent, and I just thought that that was part of the package. So it's simple ignorance on our part, knowing that rent was an expectation. We maintain our archives of all of our easements in the Mason building in 3 very heavy fireproof cabinets. So that's another space that we occupy. JCDA's administrative umbrella for the board has been, providing the services and the payroll, and they did some QuickBooks management and some check writing, and that became a burden over time. So that board took that back. But otherwise, we didn't have a lot of overlap. And so in 2022, it was decided to completely sever from JCDA's involvement with QuickBooks and other activities. And I guess the idea was, well, we'll make her department head. And this creation of department head, in my estimation, is really a misapplied solution to a problem, because it's based on the assumption that the payroll arrangements are a given practice, and they've been institutionalized over the last 20 years. But in fact, the Farmland Protection Board director is not a county employee, but we're an employee of the Farmland Protection Board, and that's by statute. And under 8812.2, the statute states the Farmland Protection Board shall administer on behalf of the county commission all matters concerning farmland protection. So that vests the power of all the decisions about what the Farmland Protection Board does in the board. And the finances and what properties we select and so on. And the board entered into a cooperative agreement with Berkeley County to hire our stewardship manager, who works part-time for both boards and does all the stewardship work and mapping, GIS mapping. And so we have a memorandum of agreement between the 2 boards to evaluate that employee annually and make decisions about her compensation. She is paid through Berkeley County, and so has the Berkeley County, has her benefits and salary paid through Berkeley. We reimburse Berkeley. So that's the arrangement we made, so you could get a high quality employee that would service both, and we cross-pollinate, which is also very helpful. To sort of undo the Gordian knot, the board does have the power to say, well, we'll go find an office somewhere, and we will, set up our own salary and benefits program with the state PEIA. I mean, we could do that. We've been coasting along for 22 years in this arrangement. So it would be, part of me saying, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I certainly understand that if this is an issue for the commission, that we're this odd little entity with this peculiar relationship with payroll services, that, we can fix it.
Thank you. Appreciate your presentation. Commissioner Tab, your mini presentation as well. I agree with you and Commissioner Jackson and with our county administrator's recommendation to go for a component agency. Commissioner Tab, you want to do the honors since this is an area of interest for you?
We already are.
Suggested motion 1.
Yeah, I was just leaving off the 3 employees and the board will make
Yeah.
that decision as it goes.
Well, I mean, we already are.
Yeah.
A component agency of Jefferson County. That's how we were established through state code.
So I guess the issue is that I'm being run through the county
Payroll rate.
payroll. I'm run through the county, it would pay payroll and benefit package.
So he's got a lot of papers here that are going through, because in 2022, she was made a department head. And then we have various things in here that say you can hire, but then you explain it, Nathan. You've got all the legal papers in front of you. Basically, when we made her a department head, the paperwork that would need to go in the formulation of a component agency never happened. So they're kind of a component agency, but not a component agency. And that's why they exist in all these budget numbers.
Well,
And it's
that's what
because
I
of the
was-
turnover of staff that
that's what I
happened
was saying.
right
I
at
think
this
we
time.
make that motion to make it.
I move to create the Farmland Protection Board as a component agency of Jefferson County Government with 3 employees.
I think I'll second that because I want to discuss this.
Yes, I want to make sure we all understand.
Right now, you're a department and you're moving back out to a component agency, correct? Do I have that right?
We have a department head of a department that doesn't exist.
Correct.
Okay. Well, and we know why that decision was made, which was not an issue with this employee, it was another employee. But, I mean, there was problems in the building, so.
To address the payroll issue,
Yeah.
until the component agency can figure out, we would leave her as far as being paid a director right now. And then farmland reimbursing the commission. Right.
I mean, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, so,
What are the ramifications of the 3 employees?
well, I don't know that we can say with 3 employees because you have 1.5 right now, right?
And if
So,
we needed-
and the board would have to decide in
Right, if
hiring
we
them.
needed 3.
Yeah.
But the motion does, I think, the motion been made.
Yes.
Make it a
Yes.
component
And
agent,
second.
but it does not include the 3 employees.
No.
Requisition.
Yeah, you
You
have
I
to.
did say it.
that.
Yes.
He did say 3.
Oh,
You just
it
have to
didn't-
amend.
Okay, I don't agree with that.
Okay. Would you like to move to amend? Because I'll say yes.
Okay. It's getting late. I'm
Yes,
a
I
little
know.
slap
I
happy.
know.
I move to amend the motion to only say, to create the Farmland Protection Board as a component agency of the Jefferson County Government.
That's fine with me.
All right, we'll amend the motion. I'll second it. Any more discussion? All right, it's late. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right. All right. Do we have anything else that needs to come for the commission? All right, if there are no objections, we're adjourned. Thank y'all. Sorry, it's taking so long.
So I still have to pay rent.
It's, what we slid in there, you can,